How you going, ladies and gents? New project. I wanted to put a live bait tank on the Stabby. We've got this Stabby X1 with all the bare bones. So yeah, no bait tank or anything like that. Plus, I don't know if I like it there. Because the original model, yeah, shows you got your bait tank and then your bait board, so it'll be sitting up a bit higher, I'd imagine. So I quite like the height. This is it. Set me cuts height, so I'm pretty happy with how this is anyway. So what I'm thinking, so I bought this new era Aussie made bait tank, and I'm thinking about mounting it right there. Still be able to get the fuel cap breathers there. There's nothing really fouling anything, so I'm thinking should do just fine here. Can reach it pretty easy. So yeah, I'll jump down and show you what it will look like. I don't plan on keeping it there all the time. I wanted it to be removable so I can take it off and clean it. So we'll have a bit of a look at it from down here. So that's it there. I've already got the plumbing put in for it, or the saltwater feed anyway. So you can about button it up there, pretty much where it's sitting. And yeah, these hydraulic hoses will just flex, they're fine. So yeah, from the side angle, we'll sit a little bit proud of the boat. Bilge is right there. Yeah, not too many dramas. It's got some fixing points here, hey mates. So what I'm thinking is maybe get a bit of alley angle and make some feet. And I might put some poly under that so it sits off the deck a bit, so only the feet will get a little bit of moisture under them, but the whole ultralon pad won't stay saturated and stinking and mouldy and all that, so you can wash under it. And then yeah, still not 100% sold on how I'm going to secure it in place, but I think we'll just do it as we go and see what we reckon as we go. Alright, cheers. So I found a bit of angle on the shed. I use this stuff to make my solar panel bracket on the top of the boat there, and yeah, I think it's 50-60 alloy of aluminium. Seems to be holding up. I'm not corroding too much, so yeah, couldn't find anything marine rated near me, so just got a bit of old steel from or alley from Madoya. This is 40 by 40 by 4 mil. So what I'm thinking is I'll where these nuts are, I'll get that so there's a bit of meat, so that's holding on, and then I'll put some plastic on the feet here. I'll make one either side. It's been so long since I bought this bloody thing, been putting this job off. But the weather's not playing the game, so get through with it. But I looked up the live bait tank, and it's a 35 litre made by New Era. Got it on eBay for 170 bucks delivered, so yeah, not too bad. Yeah, we'll have to see how she goes, but you've got to fit everything yourself, like the water inlet and outlet and all that sort of shit, so it's pretty good blank canvas. So yeah, we'll mark all this up and get it cut up, and I'll show you from there, because all that other shit's boring. I'll just share you a quick tip. You may already know this. Bit of beeswax. Just grind into the beeswax to coat the blade with a bit of wax, and that really helps cut in the alley. Metal switchboard fabricator dude showed me that trick. Smells nice. think people use candles and all sorts of shit, so some just acts as a cutting lubricant. Otherwise you'll find that the blade bloody skips and jumps. And yeah, basically clamp the alloy or aluminium. And I've done a 45 to do something a bit fancy looking on the bracket. Don't know if it's a good idea for me, but we'll give it a crack. Alright, yep, so yeah, I'll mark that, and then I'll measure it, because I'll cut it first. I won't mark it out, because I may lose some material depending on how good I cut. Alright, and yeah, alright, just I didn't like the miter look, and yeah, it's not going to really work. Not enough material to work with on the what do you call it, the live boat tank. So I'm just going to do straight cuts, keep it simple. I don't know what I was thinking. Lucky I've got plenty of yellow here, so we'll try this out. Alright, can't always go perfect. I've jumped the gun a bit. I've drilled it out, filed the edges, blah blah blah. Basically this is 40 by 40, I think I said. 50 by 50 would be perfect, and then you'd have a little bit of clearance. What I'll do is I'll pack this out with a bit of placky, just because I don't want this staining the octi tread on the boat there, if it corrodes or whatever. So yeah, these are just M8s, and I've got that as close as to the edge as I can without losing too much meat. So yeah, I'll just scribe 9mm from the edge, and then where those dots are, I've just lined up this plate with the holes pretty central. Yeah, just scribe a line on the back, and then yeah, if you got different size fixings, just get a washer and just place that as close as to the edge as you can if you want the height. And that's how I worked with the center. But yeah, I would have been perfect if it was about 10mm thicker. But yeah, you got to use what you got, and I reckon it's weight reduction. So yeah. Other thing I'd like to add, I guess, is just keep two separate angle grinding blades, one for Stano, or one for mild steel Stano, and the other one for alley, and don't mix them up, otherwise you'll get yeah, corrosion issues. I'll have to chop these down a bit as well, because they're a bit long and I don't have any shorter ones, so I'll just cut them. And yeah, we'll just work it out as we go on. But this is the prototype, should I say, and yeah, I'll make the other one up now. But yeah, I don't think we really need to do anything fancy to it. Yeah, no one's really going to see it anyway, so not going to bother chamfering the edges or anything, I don't think. So yeah, looks the job. Cheers. I was trying to spit out of my mouth before about the blades is, yeah, alley for alley, stainless for stainless, mild steel for mild steel. Just keep an angle on a blade for each one so you don't contaminate. But yeah, the name of the cutting disc for stainless is inox. If you use different other blades, you can contaminate the stainless. So yeah, just try and keep them separate. And I know it's a science for some people, but that's as much as I bloody know. So hopefully that helps. And yeah, now it's just getting these fixings right. So what I did is I sunk that down as far as it would go, and then marked the line. And then what I did was get all the hardware I'm going to put on the end of the bolt, spring washer, normal washer, and then nylon washer. And then what I did was measure how deep that went, and then just allowed myself enough for it to go in with a little bit of room. So I've allowed myself, goes in about 10mm, and I've allowed myself about 8mm there, enough for the spring washer to tighten down and all that sort of stuff. So that's how I've worked that out. But yeah, I'll get all these bolts trimmed up. Now they're about 15 long, 15 mil, and I'll get that trimmed up, mounted up, and then I'll see yeah, what she looks like. All right. Your bolt cut, you want to put your hardware on there. So I've got a split ring, sorry, not a split ring, spring washer, normal washer, and then a nylon, just to try and reduce the galvanic corrosion. I will put some Tef-Gel on these so they don't bind up when I've got it all buttoned up, but at the moment it's just a bit of a mock-up to see what will work. And when you cut, because you've cut those threads with the grinder, just want to run a nut on there first, just to make sure the thread's not stuffed. I've already done that all. Didn't do too bad of a job. So that's in there firm. What I found is, just because this plastic's all a little bit warped from whatever the moulding process, I've got about a 5mm gap here between the bottom of this and this. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do it now, because I'm thinking those nut certs that are inside the like moulded into the bloody bait tank, they're only got a M8 pushed in there, so I don't know how bloody sturdy that's going to be. Or if you have this jacked up higher than this, you're going to put a shitload of pressure on this and probably crack those nuts out eventually, and then fucking water will piss out your tank. So what I'm thinking is there is about a 5mm gap between here and the foot of the bracketry. So what I might do is see what material I got here, but I might just put a 5mm bit of Perspex on this, and that way that sits flush, and then this alley's not going to corrode with the salt sitting under it. And then this will be always sitting on the octi-tread pad, but I figure I've got to drill some holes through it anyway to mount this, so it's pretty much, if I ever want to get rid of this completely, the octi-tread's pretty much going to be replaced, I reckon. So yeah, I think we're just going to have it sitting flush, and yeah, every now and then I'll just have to take it off and wash underneath it, which is not a huge drama. I think that's going to be as sturdy as it will be. So now I've got that like that, before I tidy up the bracketry and that, I'll bring it over to the boat and see how she looks. Back out of the boat, I knew I had bloody mitered corners in my head for something, because of this corner here that sticks out. So yeah, I've got a sharp corner there, so what I'll do, so just marked up with the pencil, is I'll do a 45, so you can't bloody cut yourself up there. And I've been thinking about this for a bit, but I was wondering what I'm going to do with mounting this down, and what I think I'll do is I'll put a bolt in upside down, and then drill a hole through this bracket here, and then use a wig nut sort of configuration to bolt it down. So I'll just make this have enough room so my hand can fit in there, and tighten it up. And then this hose, yet to figure that one out where I'll put the aerator, but I could actually have that out of the way, and then I could come around the front maybe, or I can come around the side, but I'll just have to put it in the corner, I reckon, because of the handle. And yeah, I'll do the same here. What I'll do is I'll have the stud come through and penetrate this here, and then with a wing nut, and I think that's going to be the best best way to do it. So yeah, got to figure out all the plumbing, but I want to have the drain around here somewhere and then come down, and then not too close to the transducer, so it affects it when it's stationary, maybe, I don't know. But I might just have a pipe come down here and then down here so far, and it should be right anyway. I've seen some guys, they drill multiple holes and it just pisses down the back here, but it'd soon turn this hell a different colour, you know. But yeah, I'm hoping that's going to be the best way to do it. All I worry is just about guts and stuff collecting behind here and stinking. I guess that's just going to be part of the maintenance, is cleaning this bloody thing. But yeah, I'm not even sure if I will like using the bait tank or not, but that's what we're here doing. We're trying to find out. Alright, cheers. Cut that chamfer, that turned out quite well. Sort of lines up with this 45 here, so that shouldn't poke me on the boat there. And yeah, basically mark the centres. So this was 210 wide, so got 105 there, and I've come in 15mm from the edge. I'll drill a hole there, same. I'll put a 6mm stud through the bottom of the boat, and use this as the pilot bit to drill through the boat there. But yeah, I think that's going to be the best way to mount it. I only want to do a 6mm hole, because you can replace that ultralon over the top of the holes and you'll never know. We'll get them welded up easy enough. Anything bigger, don't know. And I just think that will be enough to hold it. Not a structural engineer or anything by any means, but 35 kilos, M6, I'd say it'd be right. And I think it's only going to be just when it's the boat's getting belted, when there's no water in there, it should be fine. Alright, I've punched those mounting holes through in the centre, 6mm hole, just sunk it or chamfered it a little bit, whatever you call it. But basically, yeah, that will sit like that, and then I'll have a stud come through the underside of the transom and locate in there. Then I'm just trying to figure out if I've got some 5mm material to sort of make up that gap there. If not, I might be able to just pack it out with washers or something. We'll figure that one out as we go. Alright. Just find this 4mm Perspex in the shed. So the wife can't give me shit for not throwing anything out, because it's coming in handy, and what we'll just use that for as just to build up that gap that was missing. And I'll probably just use glue, sticker 291 or something to fix that on. And if this material decides it wants to corrode and stain the octi grip, then it won't corrode while it's sitting on placky. But if it's sitting direct onto the octi grip, water will get under and she will corrode. So I'll sandwich that and drill a hole through and cut that out. I'm just trying to figure out which way will be the best to cut this sort of stuff, but I'll figure that one out in a minute. I end up cutting out these spaces out of Perspex. I end up using a jigsaw with a wood bit in there. Took it real slow because this stuff fractures if you're not careful. Yeah, they turned out good. So I've got to sand this to get all the imperfections out of it, and then I'll roughen this surface up here, and so the glue will adhere, and then I'll glue it in place and clamp it and let it dry for a couple of days, I think. Yeah, that's the process, and that brings me up the 5mm that I need to have everything level. Right, cheers. Got those all sanded up, they're looking pretty snazzy. And I've got these spaces sanded as well, just for a good bond. I'm going to use Sika 291 gonna basically apply it on there real thick and smear it with a glove and then clamp them in place. Pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, I mean, ideally, just a shout out to New Era. It'd be nice if they supplied a bracket, nice stainless one with all the fixings. That would have been great. But yeah, nothing like spending a night making some brackets up. Hey, so that's what I meant by buttering it like a biscuit, getting it all over, no air gaps, so when that clamps down on it, it's going to be no voids to collect solder or anything like that. And don't know if I mentioned, but clean everything down with a solvent, so you got clean surfaces, no oils or anything on there. And yeah, I'll get these all lined up and clamped down, and I'll show you that. Alright, got that Superflex curing. I've just got these clamped in place. A little bit's oozed out, but I'll just trim that off with a Stanley or something. But yeah, so basically that's the brackets made, ready to roll. I'll pick this back up in 24 hours I reckon, and yeah, start mounting it to the boat, getting all the fittings on the tank and all that sort of shit. Alright, cheers guys. I'm pretty sure I showed you on the last video I sanded this Superflex, the Perspex, to the bottom of the base. As you can see, that sort of buttering like a biscuit effect works really well to get the sealant everywhere. That's clear Perspex, and there's not too many, I don't see any voids or anything like that in the sticker, so it's a good way to seal it up, rather than just applying beads and stuff. What I've done is I've applied Tef-Gel to all the holes here and there, to the inserted nuts, and to the threads on the stainless bolts there, and that's the gear I use there. I used it all on my boat. The only problem with it is it's super sticky, so you want to use some sort of solvent like turpentine or wax and grease remover or something, or even that lanolin sprays must have some terps in it or something, gets it off real good. But yeah, I've used 316 and nylon. So this is just to try and prevent dissimilar metals corroding and that, electrolysis or whatever. Yeah, so I'll get these two brackets mounted up, and then we can start mocking up where all the pipes and shit like that are going to go. But yeah, bear with me. The other thing I noticed was the fixing that keeps this keeper in place. It was just a bloody, what do you call it, 20mm self-tapper. Now I reckon that won't last bugger all, so what I'm going to replace it with is a M4 20mm long bolt, and then spring washer, normal washer, and a nylock 316. Yeah, I don't think that will last, just out of experience. Also, these fixings, I think they're 304 stainless, marked A2 on the nuts, so I'll see how they hold up. I believe that's still marine grade. All the fixings I've used on the boat are all 316, just trying to yeah, stop that corrosion from happening. The other thing I forgot to mention about this Tef-Gel stuff was I mentioned that, yeah, it's good for similar metals, blah blah blah, but it's also good for the stainless fixings to stop them from galling up or seizing up, or whatever the word you want to use. I have had it happen to me. Yeah, tightening the nut, and then it just binds up on the stainless. So yeah, like this sort of stuff, or lanolin or anything like that, will prevent that from happening. Yeah, you're going. We got the fun bit to do, so we've got to do all the plumbing. So I've got the bung to put in, so I'll probably put that in the centre, right as close as I can get to the bottom. I'll cut that one in, and I've got the drain, sorry, the overflow, so that one was the drain. This was the overflow, which is skin fitting. This is 3/4, so I think or 20 mil, can't remember, but yeah, 3/4. So from a bit of research I've been doing, everyone seems to agree 1/4 down, so probably sit about there somewhere, and I think that allows for sloshing and all that sort of stuff. And then we got the adjustable flow aerator head, so I think I want that in the corner here. Otherwise I'd have to have it down too low because of the handles, because I'd like that up high, shooting into the water and sort of aerating and all that sort of stuff. So if I can, I'll mount that in the corner there, and yeah, and then I'll just have me plumbing coming up the side there into that, and that way it will be pretty out of the way. If it's in closer, it won't get snagged up. So that's the idea. Brackets looking pretty snazzy, and yeah, we'll get all those plumbing fittings put on, and then we can muck around with actually fixing it to the boat. This drain, you want to measure your centre or wherever you want it, and then I just use this as a template, about 5 mil from the bottom, because it's about 5 mil wall thickness. This has got to drill a 40 mil hole, so I've just gone 20, like this hole here is 40 mil, so I've gone 20 plus the 5 from the bottom, plus another 5, so measured up here, and then I've got I've also spaced out the fixing holes, so you know that the bolts are straight, and yeah, this is a good bung design, because you can pretty much nearly drain all the way to the bottom there, because it's got that flat flange. Alright, I'll cut that out with a 40 mil hole saw, and see how I go. I've cut that hole, 40 mil was perfect. Get yourself one of these, you can deburr the edges, and then basically I'll use this as a template that sits in there, and then those lines I've drawn line up. So I've pre-drilled one, I'll put that fixing in and then drill around the rest so they're all level. I end up using these stainless, I think they're about 10 mil 6 gauge or something like that, self tappers. They're purely just to hold the silicon there while the silicon cures. They're not really that what would you say, crucial. Yeah, and use the 3 mil bit going through the poly, so this has got some meat to bite onto. But yeah, that will basically yeah, that worked out perfect. Alright, thanks. I've got that bung drain dry fit at the moment, so that worked out well. Then I've just marked center again, and then come down 1/4. So yeah, I divided this this length measurement by 4, and then yeah, so they say come down 1/4. So I think that is, so the water level will be sitting around here out the overflow. I think that is just to allow for sloshing and shit like that. Obviously, if your the saltwater output is outmatching the what the drain can handle, then you're going to have problems with it spilling out the lid. But yeah, I'll try this. This was I think this is a 3/4. So we'll see how this one goes. If no good, then we'll upgrade. But yes, this seems to be an odd size, like a 28 or 27.5 at the thickest part. So we're just going to use this step drill bit, and yeah, stop when we get it to fit. Alright, that step drill bit worked perfectly on that skin fitting, so we'll have to chop that down to get the elbow on there. I'll do that later. Right now I'm going to mount the spray head unit, so I've come in the centre between here and the handle, and then I've given myself 5 mil and then enough for this lock nut to be able to go on the inside and lock that into place. So yeah, this sprayer fitting will notch in there, or drill in there, and yeah, that'll be what do you call it, This is a 25.5, so another odd size, so we use the step drill on that one. Alright. I've drilled that hole. One thing I'll let you know is maybe come down 10 mil from the top instead of 5. Didn't realise that this edge is chamfered here, so I actually folded the hole down a little bit, elongated it, but lucky enough this flange has got plenty of meat on it, so yeah, we won't have any dramas. It's a bloody snug fit, but yeah, that's no problem. So I think that's in a good place. Probably, yeah, I was going to say mount it in the corner here, but that wouldn't have worked. So yeah, that is probably as snug as it will be, and then don't really have anything sort of get in the way of your net if you're trying to scoop up your bait or anything like that. So I think that worked out bloody mint. So these all dry fitted, so I'll have to mask all this shit up, and then we'll put the Superflex on there. Yeah, the fun part. Got all this masked up just to try and not stain anything and whatever. So yeah, just I'll apply sticker to everything, and then yeah, try and clean up as best I can. I've put it all in the inside too. I've only got black sticker. If you had white, you probably wouldn't notice it, but this stuff is quite translucent, so you will see the mess if you make one, I reckon. So yeah, I've masked all that up, and then flip her over, and then I've masked all these guys up too. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll apply all the sticker, and then show you when it's done. I'm not going to even attempt trying to film doing it, because yeah, I don't have a headman and camera or anything. If I keep getting you know, more subscribers and all that, I'll invest in a bloody good camera. But at the moment I'm just making do with what I got till I think this is actually helping people out, and maybe get a bit of money back from making videos. That'd be nice. Alright, so yeah, I'll get onto that. So that's the tank all kitted out. Got the bung, or the sorry, the drain. Here's the overflow drain, and then here's the inlet. There's the brackets that I made up. Same again, and then that's the front face, and then inside the tape job worked out well, not too messy. I'm pretty impressed. And yeah, it's just to adjust the flow. It's just this one here, bloody beauty. So I'll let that cure for about 24 hours before I try any water in it or anything. But yeah, all in all, came together alright. Couple of hours here and there mucking around. I'm pretty pedantic, so it probably takes longer than most. But yeah, I'll see how long all these videos add up to. I might make another one fit into the boat. I don't know yet. We'll see. Alright guys, another 24 hours gone by. So what I've done is I've put this in place, and I've just allowed enough, because I want to put a wing nut on here to get my hand in there, put that on. And then I've got the young fella to spin the steering wheel and see how far the outboard swings over, see if these hydraulics crunch up a bit. They do get a little bit tight, but nothing that's going to kink them. So unfortunately, yeah, that is what it is. So yeah, I anyway had this where I wanted it. Marked up a hole here and a hole here, and I've drilled through already. And I'll take you on to the next step, where I'm gonna use a a hole punch to make some nice holes for the studs to sit in. Alright, I'll get this out of the way and show you. Alright guys, I'll show you what I've done here. So I used a 13mm hollow punch to punch that hole out, and I'll show you on the one I haven't done yet, but it's got the 6-hole mill pre-drilled. I've just used the washer as template, marked around it, and then just punching a hole with the hollow punch. And yeah, that way I'll see if I can show you it. Washer and that fits in there nicely. So that's the neatest way I can think about doing it. So I'll do the other side and then show you the next step. Alright guys, after punching those holes and cleaning all the swarf up, I've put a bolt through the underneath, and then yeah, spring washer, and a nut. And then I found that with this tight, the nut sits about a mil too high, 3 mil too high. So what I'll do is this these feet, I'll bore out that hole till it hits the alley, 13 mil, countersink it, and then that should locate it, and then make it sit flush. So that worked out quite well. I'll do that and show you when I'm done. Alright guys, so countersinking that with a 13mm bit worked out perfectly. Recesses those nuts in, so you have it sitting flush with the surface. And this is a 30mm long bolt, and how I'll do it is I've got a mudguard washer and then a nylon washer for underneath, and then on the where the octi tread hole is there, I've got another nylon and then a smaller washer, and then the bracket will sit on top of that. And then what I'll have is another nylon washer and a mudguard washer and then a spring washer, and I've only got a nut at the moment, but what I'll use is I'll use a bloody I'll order some wing nuts and use them. And forgot to mention there will be an eye lock there as well, sort of sandwiching those surfaces together, so that sits up as a stud, and then that'll be what fastens it down, the two washers and the spring. And yeah, so what I'll do now is I'll mask up all this area and this side here and underneath, and then I'll apply some sicker and on top and underneath of the bolt. This one's easy enough, you can do through this Armstrong hatch, and this other one here might put the bolt head on with vice grips or something to get it in place, or I might get the young fella to help us out, see how we go. But yeah, basically we'll get these all watertight, and then all we'll have is just a stud sticking up, so we can locate the bait tank and easily remove it. And you may be able to put some like dome nuts on top or something for when we're not using it, so it doesn't bugger up your feet. But yeah, that quite sits out the way. You're not really going to stand right here in the corner and here in the end there, so worked out quite well. And yeah, I've got an octi tread in the cupboard that if I wanted to decide I didn't like this idea, I could just replace this octi tread or just put a bit of grey sealant in there and you wouldn't know. So I'm a bit cautious about drilling holes in the boat, but I think this is the most effective way to do it. Alright. It's important when you're forgot to mention earlier, just making sure you've got nothing in the way of your holes. It's worth just drilling a real tiny hole, making sure, or even measuring from the top and then under. Make sure you don't hit anything. We're quite clear here, so I was pretty confident. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll clean this area up and then mask it so we don't get too much sealant over the place. And yeah, this is the funnest part. Alright guys, we got the holes masked up. What we'll do is we'll apply some sicker to the thread and to the bottoms of the washers, so they get a good seal from underneath. So if water does make it past the sealant in the top, it won't make it through the bottom. And then yeah, I'll do one at a time because this stuff cures quite quick. But yeah, alright. This is how held this bolt in place. If you clamp the head on an angle, you can put all the silicone and everything ready to go, and then just push it in the hole upwards, and then this angle, the weight of it will hold it in place while you do the fixings up above, and then as you turn it, it will hit the side and yeah, act as a third hand for you. Little tip if you're working by yourself. Alright guys, got these studs installed, so they don't look too ugly if you don't have the bait tank installed. Still looks alright. Put that Armstrong hatch back just a tip, put some lanolin grease on the seal, that way you got a watertight seal. Even if this has lost a bit of its tension, it will melt all around and it will seal in place. So yeah, I'll get this bait tank mounted and we can start doing the plumbing, hooking up the plumbing. So I've marked where I'm going to cut the hose. That's just mounted without any nuts at the moment, and that's bloody solid, so I'll cut that hose and then the excess I'll put on here. Just get some hose clamps and then I'll show you once that's done. That's the tank all plumbed up. This hose has still got a bit of memory in there, so at the moment it's aiming right at the transducer, but once it strains up it should just go straight under the water line there, and shouldn't be noisy. That's what I wanted, just a quiet bait tank. I've used 25mm Norma hose clamps. These ones are good because the slots don't go through, so they don't, your hose doesn't bulge out the gaps. And yeah, that's quite neat. That just loops up, and then another 25mm hose clamp, and it's all bolted up there. So yeah, that's worked out perfectly, and I'll go inside the boat and show you the plumbing, how that's all rigged up. But yeah, it's all pretty much done. Just got to let that glue cure, and then I can really nip those up. It's a bit of a mess down here at the moment. Haven't taken the boat out for a while. It's been windy as fuck. So basically, I've got this ram bloody uptake. I'll show you at the bottom of the boat. But when I bought the boat, it was capped off. I've put a valve here, then a T, and then another T here, and an elbow, and this goes to freshwater flush. And then from up there, that goes to my three-way, my check valve, and then off to my deck wash. We're not focusing on that anyway, but I thought I'd point that out. Anyway, off the side of this T goes to a shut-off valve, and then goes to my live bait tank, pump, which is a Rule 800 gallon per hour. Comes up here, does the dog leg, goes through the battery box. I'll show you. Once you're in the battery box, comes up here, goes through with the wiring through behind this fold down step, through there, through the wiring, and then comes out here, and then I'll show you the next step. Get up, and then this is where you usually do the rigging for the motor. So I've reused that hole here, comes up there, and that's it there. Still got access to the fuel, and the vent's still good, and could probably chuck something behind here if I really wanted to. Might actually make something to hold a net so I can scoop the fish out. But yeah, the rigging comes out here on this boat, which is quite neat. And yeah, there's not too much of a rude angle on those hydraulic lines, so yeah, pretty happy with that turned out. The wiring was already underneath, so I just I'll show you that anyway. Let me get down on my guts. The wiring was already here. There's a fair bit coiled up there. I've just done a heat shrink join, glue wall, and then straight into the pump there, and that's a cartridge pump. So if that dies, you can replace it and keep the housing. I think it's a bit cheaper. See if I can get the reading there for you. That's it there anyway. So yeah, I believe if the head pressure is a bit, if the head height is low, higher, it's going to get a bit of less flow. So they reckon you want what I was going to say is the best rule of thumb they reckon for the amount of water to go into the light tank is you should be replacing the capacity of your tank. Say if it's 35 litres, you should be replacing that 42 times in an hour. So if you times your capacity by 42, that will give you the flow rate you should be having. That's what they reckon anyway. So I think for this one it works out to be 1400 litres an hour, which sounds big numbers, but you'd have to work out. This is 800 gallons per hour. You'd have to convert that and work it out. But yeah, I'm not, it doesn't have to be the best tank in the world. I just want to see if I actually like live baiting, and yeah, see how it goes. I'm not 100% sold on it. I want to give it a go. But yeah, that's basically it. The other thing I wanted to maybe do is put an on-off timer on there, so have it going for a couple of minutes, then off for a couple of minutes, just to save the battery. I might look at doing that. I'll just see how it operates first and go from there. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to do. Other than that, need to buy a net for it and give it a sea trial and see how it goes. But yeah, it hasn't been a bad project. Yeah, sorry for the long-windedness of the video, but yeah, it's about as detailed as I can do it with the current technology I'm running. So yeah, if you liked what you see, make sure you subscribe, please. Cheers. Forgot to film it, but that is the high-speed pickup where the deck wash and live bait tank goes. So when I'm at cruising speed, it should not need the pump to feed it. Just it'll feed itself if I have to tap turn on it. So save a bit of power maybe.